Hi, I'm Jason Lamb with the NMSU Quay County Extension Office, and we are on our third session of the Egg to Chick program. And the third session is always one of the most unique sessions in that we get to see if those baby chicks are developing, and we can actually look and candle those eggs and see if there's movement inside of there. So we might be able to see the chicks actually moving in there today. So that's unique and fun to see. Okay, first thing we need to do is review what we've learned from the past two sessions. How many days does it take to hatch out baby chicks? 21 days. What temperature should our incubator be at? Well, that's 99.5 degrees. What is a fertilized egg? That is an egg that has had a male and a female in the pen that can produce a baby chick. What is our humidity supposed to be at up until the 17th day? Well, it's supposed to be at 50%. After that, for the next 5 days, it should be at 75%. We want to get it as humid as we can so those baby chicks can hatch out. Alright, next let's talk about the parts of the egg. We have a little more detail than we have stated before. Obviously, you know what the shell is. The shell is the outside that protects that chick during development. And that's that hard calcium-based material on the outside that we all know. Right on the inside of that is what we call a shell membrane. Shell membrane is kind of like a plastic film that's right inside that shell. You crack open a shell, you can actually see parts of it poking up, and that is that shell membrane. The center of the egg, we have the yellow yolk, which is a food source for that chick. Okay? And on the outside, we've got two layers of what we call albumin, and that is the water source for that baby chick. The outer layer is more liquid than the inner layer. It's actually a thicker liquid, the inner layer of albumin. Okay, we've got two structures on either side of the yolk that hold that yolk in place from rocking back and forth. This is called the chaliza, and that's those two rope type structures that keep the yolk in the center. Okay. Another thing that we've got is this air cell. Now remember, I told you during the first session that the baby chick, when it gets bigger, it needs to breathe. And that air cell allows air to go to get to that baby chick. So when it starts breathing inside that egg, it can. Okay, now up on top of the yolk is what we call the blastoderm, and that's the baby chick, and that's where it resides in and starts developing, right here on the top in that red spot. So those are the parts of the egg. Another thing about the parts of the egg that we needed to discuss are the pores that are in this egg. A lot of people think that that egg is solid, right? That water can't get into it and air can't get into it. Well, it has tiny little holes all through that, and that's what makes it kind of fragile and easy to break. Okay? And we have more pores on this end of the egg than on this end. Why is that? Well, if you think about it, the air cell is over here. And that air cell needs to get bigger as that baby chick gets older and needs to breathe. So those pores, those tiny holes, allow air to pass through into that egg so that that baby chick can breathe. Another thing we need to talk about is Salmonella. Okay, Salmonella is a disease that you can get from handling eggs or baby chicks, and it can make you sick, kind of like the flu. And in rare cases, it can actually it can cause death. So we want to be careful about Salmonella when handling anything around chickens, and we simply just have to wash our hands on a regular basis after handling anything to do with chickens. That includes meat, that includes eggs, cooking with it, any of those types of things. So just simply wash your hands with soap and water, hot water, or you can use hand sanitizer if you really need to, but washing your hands is a better way to go. Last thing we need to talk about is the end of our incubation process. Okay? Now I've been saying that the 17th day is important. And the 17th day is important because that's the day that those chicks are getting ready to hatch out. And they are positioning themselves inside those eggs to hatch out. So what we need to do with the incubator is we need to increase the humidity to 75%. We also need to take the little red plugs out of our incubator that allows more air in to circulate so that those eggs can get more circulation in there. And with this particular incubator, we need to take out the egg turner and set it aside, and we stop turning our eggs. Okay? And we place the eggs on the grate that's inside of our incubator so that they are not moving anymore and they can figure out how to get out of there. One thing that's kind of neat and about those baby chicks is that you would think they would try to come out of the small end of the egg. But that's not really the case. They come out where the air cell is. And baby chicks will start pecking. There's more pores on this side. So baby chicks will start pecking a line right on the big end of that egg to come out of there. That's kind of just a unique thing that they do. All right, what day are we on? We started, 2 weeks ago? We're actually on the 14th day. So we've got 7 more days to go to 21 days, right? So our chicks should be developing quite well, and we should be able to see development inside those eggs. So we're going to go ahead and candle now. We're going to turn off the lights and see what we can see in there and see which ones are good. Now you need to get out your egg log if you have one, and we will check mark if they are good. We'll put a check mark next to their number. We will put an X next to the ones that are not good, and we will put a question mark next to the ones that we still can't tell because of the dark color of our eggs. Now it's time to candle our eggs. Here's number 1. It's our smallest egg, and it is white. And if we look in there, we can't see much from the bottom. Let's go up here on top, and we can really see that air cell, can't we? You can see it glowing there, I hope. And we can see veins, and if we look real close, we could see a baby chick moving. We can see his shadow, and guess what? I just saw him move. I hope you guys can see that because it's really cool. So number 1 is definitely a check mark. All right, number 2. Number 2 is a green egg. And we can see that that air cell's pretty good sized, right? But it's a pretty dark egg to see in. And I really can't see much more. Maybe if I get real close to it, I can see veins or anything. Now last time we check marked this one, and I think it's still good. I really can't see in there. But I think let's leave it a check mark. Here's number 3. It's another dark green egg. And we've got the same issue as we did in 2. It's dark and you can't hardly see in there. That's where white eggs are a little better. But I say let's leave it as a check mark because it looks just as good as it did last time. Alright, here's number 4. Alright, number 4 is a tan egg, and we can see in this egg a lot better. I hope you guys can. We can see that air cell's real big. We can see veins developing on the side. And if we look real close, we can see the shadow of that baby chick. And we want to see if he's moving. Oh, he is moving. Alright, so that's definitely a check mark, isn't it? That's one of the coolest things about hatching out baby chicks, is when we get to see them move. Number 5. Another dark blue egg, or green egg if you want to call it that. Big air cell. This is another one that we check marked last time. And it's hard to see in there, but if you look, I can see that the veins are how we want them. And that's about all I can tell in that egg. So we're going to keep it as a check mark. Number 6 is a darker tan egg, and it's clear. Okay, there's no veins in it. This egg probably didn't get fertilized. Alright, so we could remove it from here because there's nothing happening in this one. It never started developing. There's no baby chick in that one. So that is an X, and that was number 6. Number 7. Here's another green egg, and this one never started developing either. Hope you can see inside there. Air cell's really big, and there's a spot on its side, but nothing really ever started happening in this egg. Number 7 is an X. Number 8, another dark blue egg, hard to see in. Okay, I'm not seeing in there very good. Can't see anything on the bottom side. What did we check this one last time? An X. Let's stay with an X, because I don't think anything's happening. I can't see any veins or anything in there. Number 9. Really dark blue egg. Really hard to see in. Big air cell. And it is a question mark. So let's leave it as a question mark. Number 10 is a white egg. We can see in it really well, but there's nothing happening in that one, is there? No veins anywhere, no dark spots inside there of any indication that there's a baby chick. So that's an X. Number 11 is a really dark green egg. Hard to see in. I can't even see the air cell on this one. That's how dark it is. Okay, so that is definitely a question mark. We don't know what's going on in that one. We can't see in it. And number 12 is a tan colored egg. And there's no veins in it. We can see in it, you can see an air cell. Nothing going on in that egg. So that's an X on 12. So we've got a few that are developing, a few that are not. Hopefully the ones that are will come on. Let's check our egg log to make sure that we've got it right. Today was the 23rd, our 14th day. Number 1, was a check mark. Number 2 was a check mark. 3 was a check mark. 4, check mark. 5, check mark. 6 is an X. 7 is an X. 8 is an X. 9 is a question mark. 10 is an X. 11 is a question mark. And 12 is an X. So we're doing okay. We've got about 50% going right now. Hopefully we'll see baby chicks, because next week is our 21st day. So we won't be candling next week. We'll be hoping that we have baby chicks.